Hello, Inside Story listeners. This is your host, Kristin Messegee. Before we dive into the first half of a really great interview with our Type 8 for Season 1, Joey Schewee, I wanted to take a minute to tell you about something brand new I've just created for Type 6s. This is a group coaching program for 6s. It's 5.5 months long. We get going at the beginning of March. So if you are a Type 6, and you're tired of living inside your own head, second guessing yourself, over researching, waiting to feel 100% certain before you move forward, this program, Uninhibited, was made for you. I made it for you. This is the place where you can come to develop a safe, secure, trusting internal relationship that helps you navigate life with your sixth brain so much easier. Check it out in the show notes if that sounds interesting to you. Time to dive in with Joey Schewee. Okay, this is Inside Story. I'm your host, Kristin Messegee, and I'm so excited. For Type 8, we have the one and only Joey Schewee.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so you're like kind of a big deal in the Enneagram world. Let's just say it like it is.
Well, I hope that's true. Because otherwise, writing a book probably wouldn't mean much.
So I wanted you to talk about that at the beginning. It's a parenting book, is this?
No, this is my consulting work. Parenting's going to come. Billy and I will co-author a parenting book in the near future. But this is my consulting business. This is Enneagram in the workplace. It's what I've been doing for 17 years and am very passionate about, and am very excited. So the title is When Working Together Doesn't Work.
I saw that somewhere and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better tool if it's understood and utilized than the Enneagram. I just can't. Like all the things that people throw in there, it's like, it's just not, I mean, obviously we're going to think that, but I think it's true.
Well, and I say, Kristen, it doesn't, every other system, there's a place for every system out there, but the other systems don't have the staying power that Enneagram has, because our behaviors change. And if your system is based on behavior and human autonomy says behaviors are going to change, then it brings some infallibility to the table. And Enneagram has staying power, and it has the added bonus that it doesn't contradict any other system that's out there. It just,
that's so true,
makes it mean more ultimately.
I think that's totally right, because we take in the other systems.
That's right.
As our type. Okay. Yep. So normally I have questions for you, with you, for whatever reason, which I'm just going to trust. Okay. I just have like words.
Great.
That I'm going to say, and then we're going to kind of riff on it. So the idea of this podcast is that this is about you. So you're like an 8, sharing about you as much as possible. We will pop into theory because that's going to be easy for us to do. Sure. But I'm going to do my best to kind of like keep it, this is Joey, one example of an 8.
Well, this is a great way to then start out with 8s, because when you said this is going to be about me, that made me very uncomfortable. And I think that would surprise people. I think people think 8s are all about themselves because of our self-confidence. And the minute you said this is all about me, I cringed a little inside, Kristen.
Okay. We got to hang out here. So that cringe, what does that feel like? Because it's not how I would.
No, it's not your cringe. It's not a lack of confidence. It's, we don't need to focus on me.
Got it. Okay.
That is 8. I mean, 8 territory is keeping the focus outside, away from us.
Okay. That's so good. Okay. I'm like, okay. I'm already excited. Okay. Here we go. Let's just give this a shot and see what happens. I want to start with confidence.
Okay.
Tell me what's that like to be naturally confident? What does it look like? Has it always been that way? Just tell me about it.
I think 8s come out of the womb confident, truly. Like it is there. It's always there. It is. And honestly, I think because it's not about self. Right. It's defined as self-confidence.
Yes.
But I'm confident. Yes. And I'm confident in myself to do things, ultimately, to stand big in the room, to say what needs to be said, to care for people. I mean, I'll just say on the outset, I'm going to throw it in here early.
I love it.
I think so many people mistype as 8s and have historically. I truly believe there are fewer 8s and fewer 4s than any other type. And I believe so many people mistype as 8s that I bet half of the literature, all of it out there written on 8s, was written observing people who aren't actually 8s.
Who do you think they are reliably another specific type, or just?
I think they're more often than not 5s and 6s.
Yeah. Okay, I also give myself permission. I don't stick to my list.
Okay,
you're gonna go where I want to go.
This is a confident 8 getting you already off of
I love it. I love it. Because one of the words I had and things to discuss is reactivity.
Okay.
And most things I've read are 4s, 6s, and 8s.
Sure.
But I've heard people talk about this differently, and that the reactivity of 8, I've heard, has kind of been overblown. And I'm curious. Okay, say more, please.
Yeah. To the point that when I teach harmonic, that's a harmonic group. Thank you, Don Riso and Russ Hudson. And I absolutely believe that 8s are in the reactive group. I don't believe we stay in the reactive group. I think 4s, 6s, and 8s all are accurately typed as reactive. I think 8s react and then shift very quickly to competency.
And is it true 8s don't seem to hold on to things? Like there's a real desire to okay, whatever, let's move on, but it's genuine.
Yes. And what I say is I don't discriminate. I am fueled by anger. 5s and 6s are not. 4s and 6s are not, right? I'm fueled by anger, but it's comfortable for me. And so I feel it, release it. I don't discriminate on who gets my anger, which is opportunity. Which is why 8s are so misunderstood, right? But then it's literally gone. I'm not holding on to anything. And that can be confusing when we let you have it and then say, let's go to dinner. And we're equally passionate and authentic in both spaces.
It's kind of how people stereotypically talk about men.
Yes.
Right? Like men can they'll have a fist fight and then, they'll be totally fine. So there's a certain, that's
and which leads us to, there is a gender stereotype against
totally
female 8s. So male 8s get celebrated for what we get called a bitch for. So
Yep. Okay. Do you feel responsible to clean up? Let's say your anger goes out and someone has a reaction to that. Does that annoy you? Do you feel like you need to do something about that? Are you like, do you know what I'm asking?
Oh, I absolutely know what you're asking. And
do you have any experience with this?
I do. And I've had to work, first of all, as an 8, to be aware of the reaction and to turn on the part in my brain that says, this is not someone who is receiving this well, because typical 8 is, I let you have it. I'm coming in with direct intensity. I walk away truly believing that was a great conversation. If you came at me with emotion and anger, I was like, great, we really solved something here. I walk away saying that was productive. The other person walks away saying Joey personally attacked me, and I'm unaware. It's totally real. Yeah.
How have you done that? How have you, obviously
how have I worked to be aware?
Yes. Because if it's not natural.
Well, Enneagram, it's bringing up feeling. What I say is the feeling center. Yes, it's emotion, but it's also the human centric center. It's the center that gives us the ability to relate and get along with others. And if that's what we're bringing to the table last, it's just a conscious effort to pay attention to how I'm coming across to the other person. So,
okay. So let's say you've done that and you're like, oh, I notice maybe that didn't go as well as I thought. Is it easy for you to go up, or does that kind of crack into a vulnerable place? Like, what's it like?
no, because if I'm choosing to do it, it doesn't feel as vulnerable.
Oh. Okay. That seems like
So
something to
having the
underline.
autonomy, the choice to say, and for me, it's less about noticing how I'm coming across and more about not being quite so intense in my delivery. So it's me reining it back before it gets to me hurting the other person.
So there's a lot of capacity, I hear you saying. Like, I can be
Absolutely.
aware of what I want to communicate. I can actually modulate my intensity,
Yeah.
whatever. That's what people seem to need.
Yeah.
So I can do that.
Knowing that that I'm making the choice
Mhm.
and that I'm doing it for the right reasons and altruistic reasons. And yeah, then it feels like I have more control over it. It feels much less vulnerable then. It feels
Okay.
intentional.
Totally. Does it feel like a should? You're describing it in a way like I would never describe it, right? So
It
it's
does not
so
feel like I should. Because then that takes away my autonomy.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it feels like I'm making this choice because I want this to go well. At the end of the day, I don't want people to be hurt.
Yeah.
And that's not just me, that's all eights who haven't done any work and never know the Enneagram. People say to us, you hurt my feelings. And eights say, what we are bringing is doing in logic, right? Doing supported by thinking. So I go into my logic brain and say, I know that I didn't set out to hurt you. And where eights historically get tripped up is then we say logically, if your feelings are hurt, that's on you.
Totally.
And I had to take that a step further and say, after, realizing 90% of people get their feelings hurt, then maybe it's a little bit about me and I need to be aware of that.
Well, in opposite, I literally teach sixes, your feelings are your responsibility.
Yes. I love that.
So
Love
it's
that.
like we make meaning so quickly
Yes.
and without being aware of the meaning that I just made of whatever that is. And oftentimes it's just someone else's emotion in the space, right? My brain is having thoughts about that. That's all mine to
Yes, it
work
is.
with. So
Yes.
and it's true that we impact other people. So two things are true, right? The truth is always
Absolutely.
found in the paradox. So, okay, good job, us. When you describe what you're describing, the word magnanimous came up for me. Is that?
That's a great word. Yes, it is. Because it's a choice for the greater good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. This isn't just about sixes and eights, but I take liberties because it's my podcast.
Please, because I really am excited about this 8-6 thing. So,
Okay. Cool. So I also am for the greater good, but it's more like it's like a fairness and there kind of is like I don't even like to say this. It's like a make everybody a little bit smaller. And I hear a very different thing happening. And I
and that
didn't
is
know that was
not
in there
me.
until I
I
said it.
love
Right.
that you said, I love your honesty. Oh, I love your honesty. And I do think that's true. When I talk about the difference in eights,
Mm-hmm.
true eights and sixes who mistype as eights, because
Yep.
man, there's a lot out there. I say what you ultimately just said, Kristen. I say sixes know exactly how they're coming across and choose it anyway. And eights don't know how we're coming across
Oh.
because you're focused on people and I'm not.
Yes. I will say this to throw sixes a little further under the bus. We may know how we're coming across, but we don't want to own the impact of that. So like if we got big and did our blasty thing, we don't feel responsible for the impact of that because it takes so much to get
Well,
there. It's like, why
and you're
can't
tethered to the environment. I'm not tethered to the environment. I'm independent from the environment. You
that
have an
was
external
my
reference point,
words.
right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
so the environment made you do that.
So slow that down.
Sure, sure, sure,
So
sure.
everyone, because I know what you're saying. I just listened to you talk about this on Around the Circle podcast this morning, but
Okay.
not everyone did.
Okay.
So the
So
reference point.
yes, reference point I think is so important. And I think that's when they originally, whoever created the stances, which I think is the most important work you can do because that's the center that's out of balance that you need to be
Yeah.
aware of. I think what they were aiming for was reference point, but they didn't use the term reference point.
Mm.
And that matters. And so 3, 7s, and 8s, for us to be called aggressive or assertive, so many people overwhelmingly make that tied to behavior. And that's already a misstep because Enneagram is about
Mm.
motivation.
Mhm.
And the truth is, every type can be and is aggressively behaved.
Yep.
Maybe 9s are at the very, very far end of that, but we can all be aggressively behaved. 3, 7s, and 8s are aggressively motivated to get our way. And so we absolutely live the easiest in the illusion of control
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because our reference point is not internal and it's not external. I say it's independent. It's wherever we want it to be.
So do you, kind of a side question, do you think it's actually easier to do life as a 3, 7 or an 8? I think there just needs to be some truthiness here
There,
because
yeah,
I
it
like to
does.
help. I like to say we all have our shit.
Yeah,
Do our work. Like it's true. But in
sure.
terms of just going about day-to-day life, I do think some types just have an easier go.
I just found myself saying this in our cohort. Billy and I teach a quarterly cohort every year through LTM. And it was the last session of the last quarter. And I found myself coming back and saying, 1s, 2s, and 6s, I'm not trying to pick on you. The
Right.
reality is when you're tethered to your environment, you kind of get the raw end of the stick because you cannot help but be tethered externally. No one likes the term dependent. 1s, 2s, and
I
6s don't like
know.
it.
Or compliant, dear
Right. Well, I think
gosh.
responsive is the better term for
I
you.
like
That's what
it.
I've
I like
renamed
it.
your
Oh,
stance. But the truth is, everybody's controlling, but you guys get the rap for being controlling
totally.
because you have an external reference point. So your control is more obvious.
So external reference point just means I'm who I am, where I'm locating myself is out there.
In the
In other
environment,
people's
always.
brains is how
Yeah.
I teach it.
Yeah.
In systems, in other people's heads, in what's going on. Yeah, totally.
And Kristen,
Totally.
you have more to shoulder because 1s are task focused and
Right.
they're processing with doing. So really they're focused on the doing and on how they're not doing perfectly, right? So
Yeah.
that they're on the environment, but really only on the way someone else is doing something.
Yes.
2s,
Yes.
it's so relational. So
Mhm.
2s it's the person, it's the one person. And I think we misspeak when we say that 2s and 4s need people. I think 2s and 4s need a person. And as long as they have a person, that's fulfilling their motivating need, 2s to be needed and 4s to be understood.
Yeah.
When
Mhm.
you need to feel secure as a 6, and what
Mhm.
ultimately makes you feel secure is people, you're the ones who need people. You find safety in numbers. And so when you are tethered to the environment, it's literally your spidey senses out everywhere, taking
Yeah.
everything in, every person, every possibility. It's a lot.
It is a lot. And then you can add like my brand of 6, which just doesn't like that. Like
Right. At
really grumpy
all.
about it. So I
Yes.
resist going into communities at all costs. I'm like, can't do groupthink, can't do we all have to be a certain way. Can't that's not smart or safe. Like so really trying desperately to hold on. to a sense of autonomy, while my sixiness is always trying to like pull it out. Yeah,
Well, and you're
super
contrarian.
fun.
I mean, I think fives and sixes, I think that's why fives and sixes mistype as eights so much is
Yes, yes,
you
yes,
see the anger in eights and you see the reactive anger in eights and you
yes.
see that motivating need to be against, and
Yep.
fives and sixes raise their hand. And what I am trying to undo everywhere I go, Kristen, is eights do not argue.
But
We
okay,
don't.
so challenge was one of the words I had, and conflict. So let's kind of wrap this up.
Yeah,
And
because people think that's argue and debate. And
right.
we get no energy from that. None. Because
Okay,
that
that just blew
involves
my mind.
people.
You just blew my mind. Okay.
Well, feelings last for us. We're not going to get energy from feeling and from engaging with people that
Okay.
in that way. When I say the need to be against, it is I've narrowed it down to two things. It energy, we get a lot of energy from conflict. Conflict energizes us, and that's specific to injustice
Okay.
and a lack of effort.
Oh,
And beyond that, we're not blowing up.
okay.
So if you disagree with us, we literally don't care. I
Ugh,
say, people say all the time, eights, that eight doesn't like me. I'm like,
we
we don't
don't care.
operate that way. We nothing you. We either like you or we nothing you. And if I nothing you, I'm not going to argue with.
Which I find such peace in. Honestly, it's like, oh, what a relief. This is another thing I talk about all the time with sixes. Like other people generally just aren't thinking about us as much as we think they are.
I love you as a voice in the world because that is absolutely true. And that's what gets all responsive types when in trouble because you
Yeah.
assume,
Even ones?
even ones, they
Okay.
assume that people are as critical of them as they are of themselves.
Totally, totally, totally.
Right?
I'm married to a
It's,
one, so I'm
yeah,
very familiar. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But that's where you get yourself in trouble is you get yourself worked up that if there isn't a connection, that person looked at you and made the choice, was watching you and made the choice not to connect. No, if you're talking
Right.
about a 3, 7, or 8, you didn't, we weren't thinking about you. Sorry to break it to you.
Honestly, it's such a relief. It feels great to me because it gives me, I grab permission from that in so
Yeah,
many areas. And
right?
I'm just like, you know what? I'm probably just making this up.
I
And then I
love
can get
that.
on with my life. I still have
That's
to feel some stuff. I still
sure.
have to like ground into that, but it's just great. Okay.
Yeah,
So conflict will give you energy, particularly around injustice. And I imagine different eights kind of ping at injustice in different areas.
sure.
Like you're probably all not, there's a lot of injustice in the world.
Right. And it's really people who cannot, we're not going to step in if we see that you are competent and can do for yourself. And I don't want to use competent and incompetent. I don't want to make injustice synonymous with incompetence. What I mean is we very quickly size up the situation. And if our energy is needed to lift up someone
Mm,
else,
mm.
we're all in without being asked. That comes into play. Um, but I tell you that the injustice, I'd love to say, oh, eights are just out there righting all the wrongs. You got to you have to add the do better in there. Like my tagline is do better. And that's tough because along with ones, I believe eights and ones have the highest standards for doing
Yeah.
and the shortest timelines for doing. So we both are
Mm,
in the doing triad and we process with doing. Nines don't stay there, they shift away.
yep.
And threes come in to process, but they didn't start there. So they don't have the standards we have for doing.
Totally.
And so where I really, and when I'm in my best space, it's
Mhm.
injustice, righting the wrongs. When I'm in average to low functioning space, I'm just letting you have it because I think you could do better. And
Totally.
that's not necessarily a good thing because that happens everywhere. That happens at the hostess stand at the restaurant. That happens,
Oh my
anywhere,
gosh.
right?
Yes.
So
Okay. That was truthy. That was good. So sometimes it is the 8 who's just like,
You could do better. Like, just do better. I need shirts that just say do better.
my husband was talking about how he was at Costco and they were boxing up his groceries and the effort that he had to put
Mhm.
in his being to not be perceived as, because he was just so pissed off
Yeah.
about the inefficiency and how they were. And it just, I mean, he told me because we talk about this stuff and I just laughed. Like the effort he had to put in to not be an asshole
Yeah.
was just like, that is different than how I operate.
It's so different. And it's hard for us 8s and 1s because we can't hide anything. So when we're
No,
making the
oh my
effort,
gosh.
we just kind of come across as condescending, which is
Because
not
they're,
helpful.
and because it kind of is real too.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of
Yeah.
just like,
Like you
oh,
could do better. You just could.
you could.
And so on the flip side of that, I make a very real effort no matter where I am. When someone is giving their best effort and it's mattering and it's affecting me in a positive way, I am all about celebrating that person. So I
Mm,
find the manager on both ends. I find the manager when it
nice.
can be better, but I also find the manager to say, I appreciate when people are killing it and this person is, so good job. So
I
like it's you
appreciate
get
that fairness.
both. You
That's
get
good.
both. Yeah.
That's really good. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about feelings.
Okay.
So, generally, I have a quote from you.
Okay.
Nothing feels better than anger.
Why be sad when you can be angry?
It's relatable. I think for 6, it's nothing feels better than cynicism, right? Or a little bit of
Oh, I like
self-righteousness.
that. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I knew it. Like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay. How quickly, how do I want to ask this? We'll just talk about some of the harder emotions, sadness, grief. Do you even, what do you do with that?
Okay. So you're talking to me post major thing in my life
Mm,
that I couldn't control. So I say for 3 7s and 8s, we we really do live very comfortably in the illusion of control. And because we can stand independent from
yeah.
what we can't control. And
Mm, mhm.
until we come up against something that truly we can't reframe or control or stand independent from, our transformation is going to be very minimal.
Mm,
And 5 years ago, I came up against something I could not control. It didn't even have to do with me. That's the other thing. It didn't have to do with me. It had to do with my child. So that's
ugh.
the other piece in all this. 8s, because if you're gonna try and hurt us or take us down, we're gonna be just fine. We'll come back around and wait for yours. The the slow roll of justice. 8s will just wait and wait, and we don't have to give it to you. That's why I kind of have a problem with vengeance for 8s, because no, you're gonna get yours, and the world's gonna bring it to you, and I'm
Okay, that's
confident about
amazing.
that. So I will be there though with my popcorn at when it happens, but I have no desire to give it to you ultimately.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
That's really good. But you're not going to be sad when it comes. In fact, there may be some reveling.
There will absolutely be joy. Absolutely. It will be. It'll be, you know what? And yeah.
Okay,
So what you're looking at is pre this thing I couldn't control in post, and
got it.
pre any vulnerable emotion, any softness, any vulnerable emotion. Anger was what I
Just
used
right there.
right there on the surface.
And did you know it? I mean, you're self-aware enough that
Yes, I did.
Mhm.
Absolutely. But that's protective,
Yeah,
right? It's
totally.
protective. If I'm gonna um be intense and say it like it is, what it's usually covering up is something more vulnerable. And
Mhm.
this is probably a female 8 thing. I cry when I'm angry, which is not fun, right? When I
No. Oh man.
really, prior to consulting and being my own boss, I was in investments and then I was in Catholic education and
Mm,
male dominated, all of
yep.
them. And so when my anger came, it was the injustice surrounding something that really mattered. And that's when I would get teary. And it made me so mad, even more mad that I was getting teary, right?
Yes.
I tell you now, it's something I allow. It's something I allow when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly not manufactured, but I have realized that when I do allow it, even if other people are around, it goes such a long way to showing people the softness that
you're a human. You
so
like allow the
few
tears is
people
what you're telling me.
see.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Oh.
my mom, and I have a friend, it's interesting. My mom, who's a 2, and I have a good friend from high school who's a 2, both have said the exact words to know, talking about me, to know an 8 is to love one.
Mm.
And so few people get to know 8s, right? We're intimidating. We don't let you in. We don't invite you in. That there really is a softness to 8s, not to bring in too much new stuff. I believe that the lines we share matter so much that if 2s are the true empath on the Enneagram, the responsive feeler, I think the only other possible 2 empaths are 4s and 8s because of our line to 2. And you're going to see it so much quicker with 2s and 4s than you're going to see with 8s, but the empathy is all there with 8s.
Okay. What? The empathy?
It's why we want to make it.
Is
I
it
mean, it
choosy
is why we
though?
want to make it.
I just went blurry. Is it choosy? Is it
No, for sure
okay?
not. No, I don't think empathy by definition could be. It is, I feel what the person in front of me is feeling. I tell a great story about if you're familiar with Charity Water, Scott
Mm-mm.
Harrison started that organization. Great book, great everything. He's an 8. And when we talk about 8s being missionaries and doing these big major things, we tend to just lump it with, well, it's injustice and it's taking on the oppressor and it's conflict and it's all the stuff. Well, I think the big piece that we're missing in all that is the empathy that started it. And essentially what he's doing, he was like a club promoter in New York City, like the top club promoter in his 20s, had this existential crisis in his early 30s, ended up on a mercy ship as a photographer, going to all these countries that had no clean water. And as an 8, he literally felt what the people were feeling and then started Charity Water. And what it does, but he does it with 8 flair. And 8 flair is when you give, I'm going to go out and raise money for my operating costs. So every person who actually donates to Charity Water, it's going literally to putting in a well somewhere. And I'm going to put GPS cameras on the wells and on all the equipment so you can see your work going in, so you can see where your money is going. That's not because he's, that wasn't club promoter Scott.
He's not
That
like,
was
hey.
empath Scott, right?
Yeah. Okay. That's super interesting. It's not chosen, but you can also, I guess, where, because my confusion's coming from this like whatever and the independent thing, but then there's also just this whole other piece.
I love it. I think we got to look at intuition. I think we got to go look at gut center for 8s.
Let's go there.
So what I say about 8s, 9s, and 1s, that's not just a fun term for our triad being gut triad. I think we're actually the only intuitive types. So when I hear other types, 6s are right at the top of the list. When you say, oh, I'm glad I trusted my gut. You didn't trust your gut. You trusted your heart. You trusted your read of the
Not going to get
environment.
argument from me
You
about
trusted
that.
your experience and your read of the environment and your understanding of the people involved, which is great, but that's all heart. That's not gut. And I do find that what causes 8s, 9s, and 1s, our guts to be off collectively, is a lack of honesty and integrity. We can just intuit that faster than anyone else.
Like in others?
Oh, absolutely.
So not your own self.
No.
Okay.
We're all pretty honest. When you get down to it, when you look at 8s, 9s, and 1s, there's a lot of, I'm just the most egregious with my requiring honesty from other people.
I think it's one of the reasons I was so drawn to my husband, the one, because I'm like, that's trustworthy. It's not always nice.
No.
Drives me nuts. But man, is it reliable and
And
like
it's honest. I mean,
push
look at
on
your
that.
eights. Yeah. Look at your eights, nines, and ones. You're just not going to have a lot of lack of honesty. And then,
Totally.
so for me, the gut-centered piece, one of my biggest pet peeves is when people try to be bigger and louder and more intense than they actually are to try to connect with me.
Oh gosh.
It is
Because they're like,
could
ooh, an
not
8.
it
Here I
could not
go.
yeah, could not be more of a turnoff for me. And then I nothing you, and I nothing you pretty quickly.
So that's what I mean. Okay, so that's a person you're not feeling what they're feeling, but you're kind of assessing
Is it
and you're like,
authentic?
that's not for me intuitively.
Well, it's less about it. That's not for me. And that it's more of, are you bringing your authentic self to me? Like to
Mm,
bring what you have to an 8, however you have it. Going toe to toe
mm.
with an 8, meeting an 8 doesn't mean meeting us in our intensity. It means meeting us in our honesty and our authenticity. And
Oh my
I
God.
can, yeah. And if you don't, and so many people don't, and it unravels a lot for 8s. You need to be yourself. And if you aren't confident enough in yourself and comfortable enough in who you are to meet us as who you are, I have zero desire to know you. Like it's immediate, Kristen, how it, like I can assess it immediately. So I
Okay.
don't give people much rope or much of a chance. That's a tough one, right?
Because it's hard to get back. Like,
Oh yeah.
so okay. So if
Yeah.
there's someone in your circle or whatever, and everyone's like, they're great, but you've already had your sense of them, you're like,
Yeah.
well, I guess I'll never know.
Right. And I'm going to stand independent from them. I'm not going to try and out them from the group. Again,
Right.
there is no focus on them. So
Right.
they're there and I'm there, and I am so fine being separate. But most people are not, like the
Oh,
person in the
so
group,
true.
right? And then there's this magnet on 8s, like tractor beams. Kristen, I feel them on me. It makes me so uncomfortable.
And it's the uncomfortable is because like it makes sense to me why that would be uncomfortable, but I want to hear it from your
they
experience.
they want something from me that I don't have to give them.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
So we wrapped with this cohort that we just had.
Mhm.
We've spent so much really important time with these people, and they're every number involved, and we have a lovely dinner
Oh, at
at
the
a
end.
home at the end, right? A
Mhm.
lovely dinner. And we're walking in, and there's a young 5, and she's kind of around me, and I like her a ton, but she was kind of coming out to sit where I was, and I had her sit right next to me
Mhm.
because I knew she was the one person there as a 5 who wanted nothing from me. Everyone else, it's like I can feel them coming toward me, wanting something, wanting more vulnerability, wanting more,
A
but
personal connection.
it's wanting on their terms. And it
Oh,
feels very, it makes me very uncomfortable. Always
I
has.
just this whole wanting on their terms. Oh, I think this is a soapbox of mine because I think that it's just so important for people to realize people don't know what they're asking for.
Yeah.
And it drives me crazy
Yeah.
as even a 6 where I'm like, I kind of get it. I still don't like it. I don't
Yeah.
and the lack of awareness that
Yes.
you are not going to be okay unless I say things out of my face a certain way.
Yeah.
I don't like it either. It's kind of
Yeah.
crushing. Your ability to nothing it, I do not have. I mean, I can
No, you
literally
do not.
feel at this point I see it. I'm like, "Oh, I'm just being me." And then I sense the like, "I need you to be different." I literally feel the like it's like a shapeshift
Hmm.
that I can't control. And then I feel sad because inside myself I know that I shapeshifted.
Yes.
Okay.
I,
So that's I like it
that's great though. And that's such a difference in a 6 and an 8 because the 6
because
is
I
going
will
to
adapt
engage. You
because I should
absolutely will. Yeah.
because I need to protect
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
which is of course
Absolutely.
just
You
about
can't
me.
help it. You
Okay.
process with people. You start in thinking you value all the information, but you process with people just like
Yep.
2s and 4s do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ugh. Ugh. Okay.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Like literally all of my words. I'm like, yep, 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 yep. Okay. Outcomes.
Okay.
You like them. You want to get stuff
Love
done.
them.
Okay. What do you wake up thinking about? Is it different every day? Is it the same? Is it like, yeah.
That's a great question. It's all future. So the orientation of time coming in is very big there.
But not how I would do future, I'm
No,
guessing.
it's not anticipation of what could go wrong. It's how am I going to kill the day? How am I going to make this day better? These are the things that I have to do. It's all large scale. I
Mm.
think I say that a big difference in ones and eights, although people don't confuse us very often, is ones are all about process. Like
Mhm.
a one says at the the end is important, but how you get there is equally important.
Totally matters. Yeah.
Not me.
Mm.
The end is important,
Mhm.
and you have to this is where it's difficult to work for me. The people who worked for me, I am the farthest thing from a micromanager.
Oh.
But I didn't change my expectations. So the end was my expectations are this high. You need to figure out how to get there without me helping you and holding your hand. Good luck. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to interject. So I have a community of sixes that I work and coach with, and so I ask them, any questions
Yeah.
for? So they are just in this realm,
Okay.
and I want you to answer them, and they're going to hate I can just tell they're going to hate the answer because you basically just said it. Oh,
Okay.
so good. Okay, as an eight, what's the most important thing you want a six to know or do when communicating with you? I feel like we've already answered it, but
Brevity. Like Kristen, I mean, really. So we have our next round of
good.
cohort applications.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's like 35
Mm-hmm.
applications. And I didn't come up with the questions, LTM did. And it's all these questions. And I'm telling you, and I take them from the spreadsheet and I put them in a Word doc and make it real organized for my husband and I to go through and look at, right? We have in a group of 33, we have 9
Mm-hmm.
applicants who say they are eights.
But yet.
That's already going to be incorrect. I know. I can tell based on the application who is a 6.
Mm-hmm.
So you scroll through, everything's about a page. Ones, twos, about a page, about a page. If they go over, they go over a little bit. We get to applicant number 3 who says she's an 8. Her application is 5.5 pages long. She's a 6. We're going to meet ahead of time. I'm going to lovingly offer a one-to-one session where I can guide her to that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they're not ready to listen. So brevity and listen. 6s think they listen because they value information. And I love you. And I'm not a great listener either. So I'm not saying be like me, but I am saying you don't actually listen. You are so contrarian and feel so strongly about your point that if you think if you just explain it more, then
Mm-hmm.
I will see it from your point of view. And that is never going to happen with an 8. Never.
Why not? What if it's a really good point? Is it already? I'm just so annoyed at the amount of words. I can't even.
I think for a lower average to lower functioning 8, yes. I think
Okay.
8s.
Okay.
And let me say when I believe that ones, 2s, 4s, and 6s. Y'all are I have what I call a processing divide. Y'all are on the right side, meaning you're bringing doing and feeling to work.
Okay.
Okay. 3s also, but 3s really double down on doing. So 1s, 2s, 4s, and 6s, you have unrealized and unspoken expectations of other people, because doing and feeling is working together. And when those aren't met, you respond emotionally. And what goes with that is a lot of judgment. Okay. 5, 7, 8, 9, we're the only 4 who are bringing doing and thinking to work.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's bringing doing. It's just whether or not you also bring feeling or you bring thinking. So 5, 7, 9, 8, we're bringing thinking. We're not going to judge you. We have expectations as well, but not of people. We just have expectations of the things, right? And when people don't meet those, we don't judge you and we don't respond emotionally. We dismiss you. So pick your poison. Neither are great, judging and dismissing. But the truth is, when you've got feelings from a 6 and you value information, you really think if you just say it from another way, or you add, if you believe if you add words, you're going to get a 5, 7, 9, 8 to see it from your point of view. And you literally shoot yourself in the foot every time by adding words, because what you want is for us to see it the way you see it.
Exactly.
And we cannot. We are not equipped to. So it just ends up being exhausting.
Throw one in there, because this is very relatable also to, you can imagine, many a conversation
to you and your
with my husband.
I bet. Yeah.
Especially if I go, I mean, he will literally just be like, we're not doing this. And he's not doing it.
Yeah.
And then I'm incensed, of course.
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Have to learn how to.
Yes.
We've learned a lot. Okay. This is amazing. So brevity. The other thing that this does, what I think you're doing is giving 6s their authority back. All these people, you're saying you can handle more than you think.
Yes.
You can figure out more than you think you can. 6s don't know. They just don't know how much they're giving their authority away. They're like, well, I just need to be told and then I can do it right. And it's not a problem.
And the kicker there is, it's so controlling, Kristen.
I know.
But in your mind, you're thinking, I'm trying to do this thing, the very thing, not be controlling. It's absolutely controlling.
Totally. Because it's essentially saying, I need you to think through my job.
Yeah.
And paint the course, and then I can do it, and then you'll be pleased with me.
Yeah, because you want the affirmation. 1s, 2s, and 6s all want affirmation in one way or another.
Totally. Okay. So brevity, listen.
So my language, when I really started trying to get a know your number, an intro into an hour, which I can do. I do in an hour. I do it all the time. That's one of the main things I do, is some one-on-one executive coaching. If I've been with a company and they're hiring, they'll have me. I just had one yesterday with a new hire. I really needed to focus on, I came up with a non-negotiable for every type, because what I say is, I'm going to give you a lot of characteristics. Not every box has to be checked. That's a tough one for you 6s, because you value information, but you process it.
You see me over here just taking notes. I'm like,
Because you value information, but you process with this contradictory mind that always sees another angle, what you tend to do is just go find you so quickly dismiss the information about 6s that's in front of you, and go find some information in the number you would like to be, or think you're leaning toward, and say, and hold that up. It's the information that is key for you.
Yes.
Right. And so, like I did a group session through Zoom for the city of Laverne, Tennessee. It was awesome. Like, their leadership of their fire and police, and I've got them in the room, and I've walked them through it was like a 3-hour session. I've walked them through, and I'm actually having him do a stance something. And I have a dear woman who has identified as an 8. And she starts listing things, and I've been working on not calling people out, because no one loves that, right? But I'm much more gentle, but I can't allow you to say that represents 8, because none of what you're saying.
Oh, so she's talking about being an 8, and your internal experiences. This will not stand.
Yeah. Well, it's hurting what I'm trying to do in the room. So
first of all, yeah. Okay. So the outcome is being negatively impacted.
And it's all about, when I'm right, I need you to know it. And I'm like, ooh, no, that's a no.
That's what she was saying.
That's what she's saying. And then she's saying, and I'll argue with you until you see my point. No.
Oh.
So there's all, what I ended up doing was offering her a pro bono session. I was like, I've called you out in front of these people and I'm sorry. And
how did you do that? What did that look like?
I just said, this is not 8.
Okay.
This is not 8. I didn't, I knew she was a 6, but I'm not saying, I just said, this is not 8.
Okay.
She sends me an email and says, people have told me my whole life I'm an 8. Well, there you go. Take 8 off the table. I would never. That's how you know you have a 6, is they go to other people to tell them what they are. And that's not, will never, ever, ever be an 8 thing.
There are just so many pieces of this conversation that I just want to like snip it. I know you're saying these things out there.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's great. But yes. Okay. Let me go back to my question.
Yeah, we're going, but I like it. I like it.
No, this is so good. This is so great. Okay.
Friends, this is Jeff. We're going to pick up the second half of this conversation next week. In the meantime, Joey's book, When Working Together Doesn't Work, is up right now for pre-order on Amazon.com. It's coming out in March. Do pick that up in the meantime. And happy new week. May all good things be yours.